travellers in Warwickshire have been banned from developing land at Busel until the local council there has ruled on its planning application. It's the second injunction against groups who've moved on to land in our neck of the woods in recent weeks. You might remember this time last week we were talking about a similar application in Meriden. So could more be coming our way? Let's have a word with Nikki Sinclaire, who's an independent MEP for the West Midlands. Morning, Nikki.
Good morning.
Are you taking preemptive action to prevent further unlawful travellers' sites being set up this bank holiday weekend? Why have you done that?
Well, as we know, in the last bank holiday Monday, we had these both instances in Meriden and in Hatton, and it's a well-known tactic of travellers to put in planning applications, usually 5-10 minutes before close of business on Friday on a bank holiday weekend, and they will start work within an hour, and hopefully they will get the concrete down on the bank holiday Monday, so by the time the council comes back on Tuesday, there's very little the council can do. Fortunately, in both the cases, well, especially in Meriden, the council acted very quickly, and in Hatton, they acted a bit later, but they stopped them from fulfilling all their plans. So what I've done this week with a bank holiday approaching is, firstly, I've wrote to all the chief executives across the West Midlands and warned them about applications that are happening just before on a Friday afternoon, so they can maybe take preemptive action with an emergency stop notice if necessary. But I've also wrote to all aggregate and ready-mix concrete suppliers, warning them of these unlawful developments and warning them, the effect that they have on the people and, of course, on taxpayers. Because, once the concrete goes down, it becomes a very lengthy legal process, which ultimately costs taxpayers money.
If I was an aggregate or a concrete supplier, though, I wouldn't say I'd be absolutely unscrupulous about who I supplied to, but if I saw an order coming through and there was, in tough financial times, some business to be done there, I'd take the business.
Well, I'm going to pursue this, and if I find out that any concrete suppliers have supported these unlawful developments, and most of these have contracts with councils, I will be highlighting this, and I will not want taxpayers' money being used for these companies in the future.
Well, all they're doing is making an honest buck. They're just accepting business as it comes in.
It's not honest, is it? If the legal process hasn't gone through, it's an unlawful development, and they shouldn't assist an unlawful development.
It's up to them, though, isn't it?
Well, no, it's not really. I mean, sometimes they can't then take taxpayers' money as well. They're helping, cost the taxpayers' money through the courts, and then taking taxpayers' money through a different purse. That cannot be right. The immense amount of money this costs the taxpayer to go to court to receive injunctions, then you have public inquiries, the planning process. Some of these things can take years and years and years to resolve.
The travellers we've spoken to admit it's potentially a grey area in terms of planning law. They say in terms of criminal law they're doing absolutely nothing wrong. They own the land. They put a planning application in. They're not breaking the law. They're within their rights.
Well, that's really a matter of course. I mean, what they're actually doing though is actually buying greenbelt land, and there's a reason for greenbelt land. I mean, the greenbelt land, which is very precious to us in the West Midlands, are the lungs of the nation. We certainly don't want to live in a concrete jungle. It is true, and I do support that. And I also, one of the things I have wrote to chief executives about this week is it is a legal requirement for every council to provide sites for travellers, and that needs to be done. Proper fit places need to be found, but not greenbelt land, because it's there for a purpose, and we must protect that. It's important with local habitat, wildlife, etc.
Well, shouldn't you be pursuing the councils on that then, rather than pursuing aggregate companies?
I wrote the letter, and it's exactly the same letter I've asked the chief executive. What provision of their council will be made? Because normally when this goes through the courts, one of the defences they have is that there is actually no adequate sites in that council area, and where it's been lost, and the travellers have won the subsequent legal cases where the council have made no provision.
So you'd agree then that our elected representatives and our local council officers and the travellers themselves should all be joining forces and just trying to solve the root of the problem, not some of the symptoms?
I believe passionately, and why I'm in politics, I believe passionately in equality for all, and everyone's equal before the law. I'm not against judges. They've just bucked the planning system, and the judge in the Meriden case, calls their action cynical, because they know that they bought the land on green. They know it's greenbelt land, and this land isn't cheap. They're spending about 150,000. They know it's greenbelt land. They know what they're going to do. They know it's unlawful. Maybe they should be coming to people like me and other elected representatives and say, look, we need a site to live on. please help us. Please contact the council.
The travellers group that we had on the show yesterday said doing it this way is the lesser of two evils, and they say in the ideal world we wouldn't do it this way. They say it's the lesser of two evils, and they said if we didn't do it this way, we'd be getting into the world of trespass on private land. They're saying at least this is land that we own. It's not anyone else's land.
Look, I've been elected for a year. I've had not one traveller contacted me saying we can't find a site. Okay, so any travellers out there today, if they can't find a site, a lawful site, contact me and I will contact the local councils on their behalf.
Nikki, thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you.
An independent MEP for the West Midlands, Nikki Sinclaire, with us on BBC Coventry Warwickshire. Any thoughts about anything we're talking about on the show? You're always welcome to give us a call, and our number's 0845 900 5200.